thank you, and welcome back to my show. Hey, can you believe it? Spring is here. It's spring 2024. Man, that's hard to believe. Hey, I hope everyone's doing well. We have a big show lined up for you. Hey, I recently bought me a new pair of glasses, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, Tater, those glasses make you look intelligent." And I said, "It's just an optical illusion." Hey, when I went to pick up my new glasses, I went to a high-rise building downtown. I took an elevator to the 11th floor. That's right, the 11th floor. Man, I hate elevator music. You know, hey, it's bad on so many levels. All right, okay, hey, I sent some information of my family tree to that ancestries.com. They sent me back a pack of seeds and said, "Hey, you may want to start over." That's not even bad. Hey, here's a fun fact for you. Julius Caesar never said the phrase "thank you" in his entire life. Julius Caesar never said thank you, ever. You know, but that's mainly due to the fact that he didn't speak English. He spoke Roman. Hey. All right, guys. All right. Damn, the bugs are out here killing me. Hey, all right. Hey, they say being kissed while you're asleep is the purest form of love there is. That's right. Being kissed is the purest form of love there is. You know, unless you're in prison. Am I right? Hey, we got a big show for you. I'm live on location right now. Hey, we'll be right back.
Tater's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by First Mountain Design.
Okay, folks, let's get this started. As I mentioned in my previous episode, I'm working on getting a passport, and I accomplished that goal. Now I just have to decide where to use it. What a great idea! Canada is only 370 miles from Skywatch Studios. That's roughly 5.5 hours away. Just a short drive to Cincinnati, then up I-75 to the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, and across the river to Windsor, Ontario. Windsor is a city in the southern tip of the province of Ontario in the country of Canada. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. Ontario stretches from Lake Erie to the southern shores of the Hudson Bay. Known as the City of Roses, also known as the automotive capital of Canada, Windsor was first settled in 1749 and incorporated in 1854. So without further delay, let's take off to the Great White North, eh?
Hey, take off, hoser! Cincinnati, the Queen City, home to the first professional baseball team, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, later to become the Reds. Dayton, Ohio, the Gem City, hometown of Orville and Wilbur Wright. That's right, the Wright brothers. Wapakoneta, home to Neil Armstrong and the Armstrong Air and Space Museum. Findlay, Ohio, Flag City, the hometown of Ben Roethlisberger, and my cousin Annette lives here too. Toledo, home to the world-famous Toledo Mud Hens. And then there's Michigan. Detroit, also known as the Motor City or Motown. I'll be crossing the border underground. That's right, the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel. The tunnel is nearly 1 mile long. It's 45 feet below river level. Halfway through the tunnel, I crossed into Canada. The tunnel was completed in 1930.
Let's go to Canada. Let's leave today. Canada, oh Canada. I see who play. Let's go to Canada. Let's leave today.
Hey, one thing I need to tell you folks, as I always do, I did my research on this adventure. I watched many videos on YouTube about the U.S. and Canadian border crossings. They don't always go smoothly. The border agents sometimes ask many questions, trying to catch someone that Canada doesn't want in their country. This being my first crossing, I am a bit nervous, but I feel I'm prepared and I don't anticipate any issues. Hey, we'll see how it goes. I'm in Canada. I made it through. Woo! Canada's border with the United States is the world's longest international land border.
To get to Canada from Detroit, you have to drive south. Once I entered the city of Windsor, it didn't take me long to see that it's not my kind of town. It was a typical inner city that you often see in most big urban areas in the States. Windsor is very diverse, so much that, in my opinion, it has no identity. I'm sure it has some good qualities, but it's definitely not a vacation destination. I made my way to my hotel, the Quality Inn downtown.
Hey, now that I'm in a foreign country, the first thing I'm going to do is go down to the Windsor Waterfront Park and look across the river at the good old US of A.
One thing I can say about Windsor, they do have a beautiful waterfront park. I brought my bike with me, so I'm going to take a leisurely ride along the Detroit River and see the sights. After my ride, I was hungry, so I had a bite to eat and a locally brewed Canadian beer. Life is good.
While checking into my hotel, I overheard a French guest call the front desk and ask the clerk for some pepper. The clerk said, "Do you want black pepper or white pepper?" And the Frenchman said, "Toilette pepper." Hey, the next morning I drove 45 minutes southeast to a little town called Leamington. I passed many farms along the way. Many had large greenhouses. I passed quite a few vegetable stands already filled up with tomatoes and other warm weather veggies. Once I got out of the city limits of Windsor, I started seeing a much better version of Canada. The name Canada originally comes from the Iroquois name Kanata, which means settlement or village. The Iroquois are a sworn enemy of the Watapusi.
I was on my way, once again, to catch a ferry. That's right, I'm taking the Pelee Islander 2 out to Pelee Island in Lake Erie. The western part of Lake Erie has many islands. I've been to a couple of them on the Ohio side. Pelee Island is the largest of the islands. It's not overly developed and has lots of beautiful coastline, a couple of restaurants, and a winery.
While researching Canada, I came across something that I found very interesting and I'd like to try. I'd like to drive the Lake Superior Circle Tour. It would take about a week to complete without being rushed, but maybe, just maybe I'll get it done. Hey, if I'm going to explore Canada, I'll need to learn some French. I've already learned a little Spanish, anticipating traveling to Mexico. And hey, whenever I'm talking to one of my Spanish-speaking friends, I always use the word mucho. It means a lot to them. Hey, the next morning I headed back to the US of A. I crossed the border at the Ambassador's Bridge to Detroit. Then I headed south to Skywatch Studios. I needed to get back and check on my garden. Hey, did someone mention a garden? Canada is the second biggest country in the world. Welcome to Tater's Great American Garden 2024. As I always like to do, I picked up a few souvenirs while I was there. A cool looking bottle of maple syrup, a keychain, a magnet for my refrigerator, a koozie, a coffee mug, and some rocks from the shore of Pelee Island. But my favorite souvenir is this maple leaf ornament for my Christmas tree. Hey, I'll give a few of those gifts away. All in all, I have to say my Canadian adventure was successful. Even though I'm not a big fan of Windsor, I hope to go back and explore other parts of our neighbors to the north. After all, it's a huge country. All right, folks, it's time to wrap up this episode. Summer is coming fast, and I need a real vacation. I'm going to leave you with a menage a trois of Canada. See you on down the road.